I have any questions I can answer online? Is he from Wales? No, I get quarters. You get that one?
Yes, sir. We do. We have a few zones rest.
Got
Some fun.
Who's with us, Ephraim?
We got Haiti with us.
Oh, Haiti. Give Haiti a hand. Ephraim, you got it.
Yeah, so we got Virginia with us.
VA, give VA a hand. Say it again, Ephraim. Syracuse, New York. Give him a hand. Who else?
We got Chicago.
Chi-Town. Give Chi-Town a hand. Montreal. Canada. Give him a hand. Montreal. Killeen, Texas. Give him a hand. Give Florida a hand. Gator Bay. Any questions, I'll give them.
Sir, Haiti has a question.
Haiti, you're up, please.
Shalom, everyone.
How was my pronunciation in Creole? Haiti, terrible? Give it to me straight.
Nah, sir. It was 99%. 99%.
Working on it. Give him a hand. Haitian is Haiti, right?
Haitian is Haitian.
Haitian is Haitian. And Haiti is Haiti. Haitian is Haitian. Okay, Haitian. Okay, please. Merci, please.
Say that thing else. We found made, sir. He said that to say the prophecy about a brand
I'm sorry, say it one more time about friends separated from the UPK.
Hell no, sir.
Say it again. Oh, France. But I'm saying it in Creole.
Sunset.
Say it. Go ahead.
About them separating from the Junior, sir.
Okay, hold on. General Hazayan would know this answer. France is something. Their biblical name is something. Haiti, but I cannot recall it. Something. I ask General Hazayan for this breakdown all the time. He sends it to me on my phone. But I can't recall this. Haiti.
Not gold.
Not gold. No, it's a biblical name. Right? All of the names for Europe are in the Bible. The so-called white man stole the names of another people. He doesn't have a culture. He steals other people's culture. And France is something else. You had an officer's test now. It's on the test. I remember. Come on, Chi-Town.
That's a Gomer? Yeah.
It sounds right. I think it might be Gomer. You want to look for Gomer. I'm seeing about 75% sure the warrior is right. It is Gomer in the Bible, and Gomer, and it's in that Ezekiel 37 about when the fish will turn back and Gomer will come against them. Look up Gomer, I think in Ezekiel. I believe that's where the precept is, all right? Gomer, yeah, Gomer sounds right. That sounds right. Let me see if I'm about to.
Ezekiel 36.
Ezekiel 38, this is Texas.
Yeah,
Yatazak, Gomer, right. Yatazak said it is Gomer, right. Gomer is, Yatazak said it's Ezekiel 38 and 6. Go with that, all right? No sweat. Anything else? Who made the food? Well, let's back it up for the mystery cook. One credit for it. Any questions in the group? Ephraim, any questions online?
Sir, the general Q dropped the scripture on Deuteronomy 22:8 on the previous question. when thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt take a battlement, and you put in parentheses a parapet or a guardrail.
That's it, Ryan, wherever you're at.
Go.
There you go.
That thou.
That's the one. Good to go. Anything else? I got anything else.
And so we got a question in Dallas.
Dallas, Big Texas, give him a hand.
Let's see if there's anything. So we got a question for.
Okay. I'm ready.
Hey, shalom, y'all. Yes, sir.
Good to see you, Warren.
You too, sir. Salaki, I have a question in Genesis chapter 49 and verse 10. I'm sorry, verse 11. This is about the tribe of Judah, the prophecy. Verse 11, it's ganging me up a little bit. It says, binding his foal unto the vine and his ass's coat unto the choice vine, he washed his goat in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Well, let me about this. I'm sorry, you want to know what this means? Right, when you read Genesis 49, right? Genesis, the best way to understand Genesis 49 is to think about stereotypes. Right? There are what we call today stereotypes about each tribe. Deuteronomy 33 are about blessings. You got two precepts in the Bible that describe who 12 tribes are. You have Genesis 49 that will talk about vast generalizations about the tribe of Israel, and they will completely fit who that tribe is today. Then Deuteronomy 33 will talk about the blessing that God gave those particular tribes. And you put those together, you're going to know that Judah is the so-called Negro, Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans, Issachar are the Mexicans, the Simeonites are the Dominicans, and so on and so forth. So this one, I'll break this one down for you, okay? Start with, go ahead.
So I was saying, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to read it back to me and I'll break it down now for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 11. Binding his foal unto the vine.
What is a foal? You know what that is? A foal is a young horse. A foal is a young horse. It's like a colt. A foal and a colt are similar things. I think one of them might be a male or a female. I don't know. I don't know a damn thing about horses. Y'all down here in the country, you tell me what a horse is. I'm from North Philly. Anyway, some type of horse. All right. So Judah, he binds, read that, he binds his foal, his horse, to the vine. What is a vine synonymous with? What are we talking about with a vine? Grapevine, right? A grapevine. What do grapevines make? Wine. So he has his horse, and your horses, back before there were cars, you needed that horse. Very important to you. Well, he binds his foal, his coat to the grapevine. He ties it to the vine. Right? His livelihood, his life is tied to wine. Keep going.
And his ass's colt.
An ass's colt is a donkey. A young donkey is an ass's colt. So a young donkey, important. You have to have it, or else you're not going to survive because you need that, and you need that donkey to survive. You need it, and he ties that donkey to the choice vine. What's a choice vine, warrior?
His favorite.
Best wine. Not that cheap wine y'all drink down there. What's that wine y'all love to drink? What's that one in the giant can? Don't act like you don't know that. Say again? No, that's too good, I think. The one with the 911?
211.
That's in the can.
211.
Say again?
211.
211. Not that. I'm talking about good wine, expensive wine. That's choice wine. He ties his ass's coat to the best wine, to the best vine, because the best vines make the best wine. The best grapes make the best wine. You get that point, right up? Keep going.
He washed his garments in wine.
Boy, this point is getting made, I think, right now about the tribe of Judah. Let's keep going. He washes his clothing in what?
In blood.
I'll read it again.
He washed his garments in wine. So, in the best wine.
In the best wine. His clothing is washed in wine. He ties his horse to the vine. He ties his ass's coat to the best vine. He washes his clothing in wine. Keep going.
And his clothes in the blood of grapes.
And what do you do with the blood of grapes?
Make wine.
You make wine with those, young brother. Keep going.
His eyes shall be red with wine.
So I think we're making a point here. His eyes are red with wine. Meaning what? He's drinking. How do you know he's drinking, young brother?
Because his eyes are red.
His eyes, they used to call it bloodshot. Y'all still use that term? Bloodshot red. That's what gets you arrested when you're driving that car drunk. Because the cop pulls you over and he looks at your eyes, and your eyes are bloodshot red. You're going to jail. Keep going.
And his teeth white with milk.
And his teeth are white with milk. He has a big smile. I got a feeling the Lord is trying to say that brothers from the tribe of Judah like to drink. So I hear. ¿Hay algo más? Anything else?
That's it on it.
That's
The water, General.
No problem. Any other questions?
So we got a few questions in the comments as well.
Please.
A few questions, Sister asked, sir, if I may, when should we listen to our gut?
Now that's a specific question. But let me just answer it in general. Never. Don't ever listen to that stupid gut that you have. That gut is dumb. Never trust yourself. It's a terrible, terrible way to live where you trust your instinct. A lot of you think you got magic. I've met you. You think you're X-Men. Somebody told me something they had. It wasn't intuition. It was some word like intuition. It was some word, I don't know, but it's some stupid garbage that means intuition, and it's stupid. You don't have intuition. You're not an X-Man. You don't have magical powers to understand things. You trust your gut. I would never trust my gut. I would never trust my feelings. Oh, I got a feeling about this. I don't do that. So now, once again, that's an in general answer to a specific question. In general, never trust your gut, ever.
Slug and Jonah.
Yes, please.
Slug and Jonah.
You must have heard me talking about drinking. See, like, you don't drink every now and again. I thought you might. He seemed like he. What do you want to say?
He has to level.
He knew. His gut told him I wanted that scotch. Is there anything else? Any other questions?
Sister asked, is Satan considered a demon?
Is what?
Is Satan considered a demon?
Satan is the Lord of demons, Baalzebub, meaning the Lord of demons. That's what Beelzebub means. You've heard that term before. Beelzebub means the Lord of demons. Satan is in charge of demons. Demons are false. Demons are your gut. That's your gut. Demons. A little voice in your brain that just gives you a feeling that you should just make one more bet to make that parlay. You really are going to get this week. I just know it. Just know it. I got a good feeling about this. That's a demon trying to just destroy your family and take all your money from you. This woman, oh boy, this woman, you know what? She really, she contacted me. That's a dummy. Somebody, if anyone says, why do you want this woman? She came into my inbox. She comes in everybody's inbox. And everybody, the rest. You understand me? You can't choose a woman because you got just a feeling about her. Oh, women, you forget about this. Women, this your whole life making decisions based on it. Your whole life is making decisions based on, I just got a good feeling about him. It's just something about him. You're an idiot. Right? Demons are thoughts that come into your brain that are not substantiated, that are not backed by facts, and there is no father in your life that can tell you that this thought you have is foolishness. All right? That's what a demon is. A demon is your gut. Or anything else. Please, young warrior, give him a hand. Looking good at him. He's younger than me. Oh, okay.
I'm just wondering if, how can you tell the difference if the demon's talking to you or if the Lord is talking to you?
That's an excellent question. I'll tell you what. Now, this is a in general question, not specific, right? In specific, it's better. It's better to deal with this specific thing, but in general, this is how you know. What you want to do is remember this. The Bible says, in the multitude of counselors, objectives are achieved. If you could just do something that's so hard to do, and I'm going to try to explain it to you. If you could not trust yourself, if you could tell yourself, I have terrible instincts, I have horrible instincts. Imagine if you had no confidence about decisions. You just didn't have it. You look at yourself like, I'm the stupidest mother effer the Lord ever made. Boy, let me check. Let me do a double check. That double check is what saves lives. It's like you know what you want, right? You know that you might want to do this or do that, but you don't trust yourself. You don't have the confidence in your inner thought, in your inner, voice to go with it. So you do a check, a double check. That double check is how you can find out whether or not that's from God or from Satan. That little check. Why? Because you want to check with someone who is not going to benefit from the choice. Meaning, okay, let's say you wanted to invest in a business, right? Someone is telling you, listen, man, you put your money in this food truck. That's a big thing. We're going to get a food truck. And we're going to make all the money in the world in this food truck. Now, you're hearing it. And of course, who's going to make the money from the food truck? I'm asking you, Roy. Who's going to make the money from the food truck? The person who owns it, right? Who's going to get to buy a new car because of the food truck money? Who's going to get a new house and to change their life because of the food truck? So you are too involved and close to the benefit of it to make a good choice. People in the world, you know what they call? They call someone called a lawyer. You get my point? They call him because he ain't buying the food truck. You understand? He's not involved. So since he's not involved, he can give you a sober counsel about this thing because he's not the one that's going to get rich. You want to sign a record deal. The record company is saying, sign it. You're going to get rich. You're going to be Cardi B. You're going to be famous. What should that young brother or sister do? You better get somebody that don't racket. You understand? Somebody that isn't going to make it famous. Me and Ariel was looking up yesterday. We looked up, Ariel was telling me about Clyde Davis and how much money did Clyde Davis have when he died? Yeah, Clyde Davis had $88 million. We went and looked up and we wanted to find out how much money Whitney Houston had. Because Clyde Davis, found Whitney Houston. You don't want to hear it, I'll tell it to you. Whitney Houston died with negative $20 million. Negative. I asked Alexa, that bitch, she said Whitney Houston died with negative $20 million, which means she was very broke. Alexa said she was very broke. Alexa, well, Whitney Houston was the one who Who was the singer? Who was going to strike it big? Who was going to make it to the Grammys and make it to the Grand Ole Opry down here in Nashville, Tennessee? She was the performer. You see, Makai Davis, though, he is not a singer. Get my point. You better ask somebody who's not emotionally involved. So how do you know if something is Satan or if something is the Most High? Get counsel. Get counsel. Anything else? Hay algo más? Question, please.
We have two questions on Isaiah 44:6 on the same verse.
Please.
And one I'll ask, can I get a breakdown on Isaiah 44:6? Christians use this for Revelation 1:17 for Christ being God. And priest Isaiah says, so I can serve my men with their grace. Can I get a breakdown on Isaiah 44:6 of who is the Redeemer of the Lord of hosts in his grace?
All right. So these are about the same place.
So it's the same verse.
All right, go ahead.
Isaiah 44:6. Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel.
Ephraim, also let me know Ephraim when we want to get into the topic, all right?
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Probably about the last question.
Solid. You got it.
Isaiah 44:6. Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts.
All right, you want to verse? I'm sorry, 1 second. The king, read it one more time.
Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts.
Is this the one where this is speaking about Tyre and Zidon above it? Another king, or is this not that one? Give me 2 verses above it.
Verse 4. And they shall spring up as among the grass, with willows by the watercourse. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and stir himself by the name of Israel.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Thus saith the Lord, King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts.
Okay, what's the problem there? They think this is saying Jesus is God, I'm assuming.
Come.
Okay, what do you see right in front of you? Well, I'm not reading it, so tell me how Lord is spelled right here. And let's say if, give me the first one. Is this a lowercase Lord or both of them are uppercase Lords?
Well, both of them are uppercase, sir.
All right, let me catch up with you. All right. I mean, where we at?
Isaiah 44:6.
This is jogging my memory like that one is speaking about some king, right? Isaiah 44. And 44:6. I got you. And keep 1 second. This is a good one. Okay, I think we got to go down to. We probably got to start above it. Be far above it. Let's say the one. Probably 4 and 5. All right, that might give it to you. Okay, start at 4 and 5. 4.
Isaiah 44:4. And it shall spring up as among the grass, as a willow by the watercourse. Verse 5. One shall say, I am the Lord.
One shall say what? Say it again.
I am the Lord.
One shall say what?
I am the Lord.
One shall say, I am the Lord's, with the S on the end, right? Keep going.
And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob.
And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. Keep going.
And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord.
Right. Let me just break it down for you for time's sake, right? This is speaking about people who will always say that they represent God. Right? Think of every church you've ever encountered, every so-called man of God, preachers, fake Israelites, all of them, they shall spring up like grass. They're everywhere. I think every year I look up and it is some Israelite that watch our videos and now is trying to do what we do. They're always sitting out there somewhere destroying our salutes, doing it terrible, doing everything we do in a terrible way, awful at it, trying to do it. They spring up like grass. One saying he's Jacob, one saying this, one saying that, everyone's saying it. Everyone's saying that they're Jacob, that they're the Israelites, that they're the people that you should follow, that they belong to the Lord. Keep going.
John. And surnamed himself by the name of Israel.
You hear that? And surnamed himself by the name of Israel. Now you got, I remember, you only know who the Candy Kings are, do you? Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, Jesus. Oh, give my out your hand. Get it all, my out. You know, the Israelite groups you've seen in your time, my out, Jesus. Dude, they spring up like grass. Dude. Everywhere. Now you got to say the Genesis to Nayat told me. This one is when it damn the terrible things like this here. I mean, my God, they spring up out of everywhere. And all of them saying what? Read that part again.
John. And surnamed himself by the name of Israel.
And they all surnamed themselves by the name of Israel. They're all Israelites, aren't they? All of them are the chosen people of God. They're all Israelites. Right. Continue.
Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel.
Thus saith the Lord, all in capitals, the King of Israel. Keep going.
And his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts.
And his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. What is that talking about? Come on. Give it a shot. Who asked the question?
Priest Isaiah asked.
Come on, Priest Isaiah. First of all, you might just need to this right here. Do you believe that there is more than one God? You got to start with that. Because if you are polytheist, then of course things like that will confuse you. I mean, you believe in multiple gods like the Greeks, like Zeus and Kronos and this God and that God. If you believe that El Señor en nuestros Dios, El Señor uno es. You believe that our God, the Lord, is one. What is this talking about? I'll get to you a few minutes, but I got to get to my topic. The brother that asked the questions. Keep going. Maybe this will give it to him. Keep going. Read down.
John. I am the first, and I am the last, and beside me there is no God.
Really just gave it to you just now. I just did it just now. It's just a little thing twist up in your brain because you grew up Christian, but you think you're seeing something that's not there. It's not there, and you think you see it, but it is not there. We're going to start from the top again. Go to 5.
John, verse 5. One shall say, I am the Lord, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel.
So you got so many people saying that they're Israelites, saying that they belong to the Lord. Keep going.
Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel.
This is what the Lord, I almost gave it to you. This is what the Lord said, the King of Israel. Where is the Most High God at? Where is he at? What do they call it? You want to guess? The kingdom, cielos. The kingdom. Reino de los cielos. The kingdom. Why is it called the kingdom? Anyone want to guess? Take a guess. You heard of the kingdom. Why is it called this? That's what a king is, right? That's him, right? But that's him in Espanol. What's in Espanol? It's something. It's good. He's in the kingdom. That's where he is. That's where he lives. He's in the kingdom. This is all God for time's sake, all right? For time's sake, none of this is about Jesus. None of it. None of this is about Jesus. It's not talking about Jesus in any way. It has nothing to do with Jesus. If you don't know, read the part after and his Redeemer. Read that next part.
I am the first and I am the last. And beside me, there is no God.
Now, what is that talking about? What is the point of all of that? I am the first, I am the last, and beside me, there is no God. The point is, if you're thinking there's someone else, there's not. There's no one else but him. That's it. This is not about Jesus. This is not about some Israelite that thinks that he is important. There is one God, and that is the Lord. That is that. What is this on the tip of my tongue? El Dios. Nothing. Everybody gets the point, right? This is only talking about the Lord, and that's that. It's not talking about anyone else. Give me the part that you think is talking about the Lord. Go ahead.
Like you said,
There's a part that he asked a question about. Go ahead.
thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, Lord of hosts.
Right. Who's Redeemer? That's all you need. Come on. That's all it is. There you go. All right. You think it's saying the Lord and the Lord's Redeemer. That's what you think you see it. You think you're seeing the Lord and the Lord's Redeemer. But remember, we talked about Israel up in that verse right there? When they will surname themselves Israel, was right above it. You recall that, Ephraim?
So,
It was right above it, right? It's not talking about God's Redeemer. It's talking about Israel's Redeemer, because Israel's Redeemer is right above it. Everyone understands? I'm going to study Spanish enough where I can have a little Spanish when I'm drinking. Y'all should see me when I'm not drinking with the Spanish. I mean, I am like you should see me there. But I don't know it enough to remember it when I'm drinking. I'm going to pray. But the Bible, I know, do it or not. Everyone understands. Read above it, Ephraim, please. Israel's surname.
and surnamed himself by the name of Israel.
Surnamed himself by the name of what?
Of Israel.
Keep going.
Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel,
Oh,
and his Redeemer,
who's Redeemer, Ephraim?
Israel.
That's all. It's not there. You think it's there because you grew up in that whorehouse called a church. So you think it's saying the Lord and God's Redeemer. But it is saying Israel's Redeemer. And if you don't know, you just keep reading. Keep reading from.
And God, the Lord of hosts, I am the first and I am the last.
Israel's Redeemer is the first and the last. Keep going.
And beside me there is no God.
See, Jesus is not God because there is no one besides him. No one at all. Everyone understands. El Señor nuestros Dios, el Señor uno es. The Lord our God is one. Jesus cannot be God based on this precept right here we're reading. Based on this one, you think you're seeing something that's not there. Everyone understand. You good to go with this?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
You can tell me, get your time.
Well, back it up, then. Let's get into it. What do you have? My topics up for tonight, are why is the Confederacy still breathing? Many of you down here in the South, you've seen Donald Trump. Show me some Donald Trump videos. Show me some ones from this week. This week. Donald Trump went to a museum where they had Franklin Delano Roosevelt and AI. It's an AI of Franklin Delano. Is that right up?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt. My apologies. Now Theodore Roosevelt has been dead, I think. Goddamn, 100 years or something like that, right? I'm sorry. So there's you go to museums, they have interactive AI in some museums. So Donald Trump went to the museum and Theodore Roosevelt was talking. Donald Trump thought he really talked to Theodore Roosevelt. I heard the video. He showed it to you. Go ahead. Now, listen, I just want to thank you, Theodore, for seeing me today. He made a press conference and said, today I talked to Theodore. That's for real. Give me another one. Give me Donald Trump when he was had a deposition. Also, Donald Trump was sued by a woman for rape. Donald Trump raped this white woman in the 70s. He won. Donald Trump is a convicted sexual assaulter in a civil case. Okay, so much time went by that they weren't able to convict him in a criminal case, but she sued him and he was guilty. He went all the way to the Supreme Court, right, to appeal his decision. The Supreme Court said, you raped them in the Supreme Court. And he has to pay her, I think, $100 million. That sounds right. This is the deposition for when he went to court to take a deposition about this rape case. Play that, please, Ephraim. General. I'm sorry.
Didn't he once that she said was sexy? He didn't change his French, like he was still alive.
Sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that Agent Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, I believe that's what's in flux.
Play from the top again.
In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm.
Wow.
Donald Trump went to the fire lawyer and said she said it was sexy to be raped. Wow. It was sexy to be raped. This man won the presidency after January 6th. After January 6th. After they stormed the Congress and defecated on the Congresswoman's desk. Tried to rape that Ephraimite Congresswoman from the Bronx. I forget her name, Ephraim. She was hiding in the bathroom stall. Say again?
AOC.
AOC. She's hiding in the bathroom stall. As white men bust in the door to her office looking for her, she's hiding up against the wall. They're looking for her to rape her. She hid. After that, he still won. Now, you might be sitting down here in Nashville, Tennessee, wondering, how could Donald Trump have won after that? This is the reason Donald Trump won, because the Confederacy is still alive.
Right.
It is still here. After the Civil War, after 200,000 men died on this ground that you're sitting on right now, the Confederacy did not lose. It's still breathing today. Donald Trump won the White House because that demon that is in the Confederacy is still alive today. He's not smart. He's not a good businessman. He's a thief and a rapist, and he was on Epstein's Island. How could he have won? Because the Confederacy won. Because the Confederacy is still alive. And hating blacks and Latinos won him the White House. Nothing else. Now, here's my question. How, after so much time and so much bloodshed, how could the Confederacy still be alive today? I'm going to show you how. Okay? Pay attention. Ephraim, what do you have? Take me back through history. Today, we're going to go over the Civil War today. Now, many of you, you're down here. I would assume, first of all, maybe you know a lot about the Civil War. You brothers and sisters from the South. Is there anything about Nashville, Tennessee that you might like to let brothers and sisters from across the country know about? You know about anything that you might think is important? I can give you one. Let me give you one. Let me give you the Camp Pillow Massacre. Let's start with that, Ephraim. While you're getting that, I'll try to go over the Civil War briefly. Go ahead. Let me just explain it to you. Ephraim, tell me when you're ready. So there was a time in America, right? No, Ephraim, matter of fact, let's start with Thomas Jefferson. Back during the time of the Revolutionary War, when America, the American colonies, decided to break off from Great Britain, right? Back during that time, they were being taxed. They believed they were not getting any representation in Parliament in England. They believed they were giving tax money to England and they were not benefiting from it. So they wanted to break away from England. They wanted to have a rebellion and break away. During that time, the American colonies decided to break away. Thomas Jefferson wrote a first draft of the Declaration of Independence. In that first draft, he directly came against slavery. He directly said that slavery was wrong. We should not have slavery. Slavery is immoral. Thomas Jefferson wrote it in the first draft of the Declaration of Independence. Let's start with that, Ephraim, if you could, all right?
So,
One of the grievances that is not really talked about in public school has to do and is found in our original draft of the Declaration of Independence. For a long time, I didn't know how to answer that question on if that promise was meant for you, Elijah, how come it wasn't in our founding documents? And the truth of the matter is it was, and it's right here. What you are looking at is the original draft of the Declaration of Independence created by Thomas Jefferson Randolph. That was the grandson of Thomas Jefferson, who went into his home in Monticello after he died, July 4th, 1826, found the original 4 pieces of paper that were submitted to Congress, and before he gave them to Congress for preservation, he acid etched them onto these pieces of paper. This is the closest you can get to the original Declaration without going straight to Washington, D.C. And wouldn't you know, in this document, is found incredible truths of our history that have gone too far long suppressed. Did you know that the longest stated grievance in the entire original Declaration as written by Jefferson, when he submitted it to Congress, he ends the entire list on the abolition of slavery and the slave trade. It says he, being King George III, has waged a cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere, or to incur miserable death in their transportation thither. This piratical warfare, this opprobrium of infidel powers, is the warfare of a, quote, Christian king of Great Britain, determined to keep open a market where men of all capitals should be bought and sold. How much clearer?
Now, that was the original draft of the Declaration of Independence that we're all going to celebrate on 4th of July, right? Right. It didn't make it in the final draft. You know why it didn't make it? Because if it would have been in the final draft, the southern states would have never joined the Union. Right. He had to take it out of the final draft to get Alabama and Kentucky and Tennessee and give me some more. Georgia. They refused to allow that to be in the Declaration of Independence. So Thomas Jefferson took it out. Why? To keep the Union together. There has been a compromise made in America before you were ever thought of to please white men by belittling and destroying Black and Latino men. That compromise is why the Confederacy never died, because they always placate them. They have never dealt with the Ku Klux Klan the way they dealt with ISIS or Al Qaeda or MS-13. They never treated them like absolute terrorists and destroyed them, ever. But now Al Qaeda and ISIS, you wipe them out. You can't be, you think right now you could tell America that you're a member of ISIS, but you can be a member of the Ku Klux Klan today. Right now, today. You could be in the Klan, but you can't. You get arrested if you're in MS-13. If there's a tattoo on your arm that says MS-13, you go to jail. Am I making this up? You know I'm not. You're going to jail for the tattoo. Why is the Ku Klux Klan still protected under the freedom of speech today? Because they've always, I'm sorry, go ahead, Warrior.
like I said, not only going to jail, they should be into a jail in Nicaragua.
From there on, not even put you in the jail in America. You go into a jail in Nicaragua for MS Roman numeral 13 on your arm. You're going to jail. But the Ku Klux Klan, it still exists. They've always made a compromise with the men who hate you. Always. Are there good white people? Absolutely. They're good white people. We're going to go over a good white man today. His name was Ulysses S. Grant. John Brown. Here's the problem, however. Good white men get killed by bad white men. all the time. Good white men never win. They never win. Bad white men always win. Now, Thomas Jefferson wrote this in his original draft because he wanted to end slavery. Was Thomas Jefferson a good white man? Give me Thomas Jefferson about, what was the woman's name who was a poet, Ephraim? There was a woman named Phyllis Wheatley. Some super smart people out there know who Phyllis Wheatley is. Phyllis Wheatley was a poet during the time of the original July 4th. And of course, when the July 4th came, Independence Day came, Phyllis Wheatley wrote a poem about how her people were not free. Do you have that poem? I think she quotes Cicero in that poem, from to my memory. Do you have the right one?
Okay, so let me pull it up real quick. I think that's right.
She quotes like a Latin poet, a Latin poem. I believe it was written by Cicero. I believe that's correct. Phyllis Wheatley wrote this poem where she quoted, the original Greek poets, right? And the poem was about how, you're talking about freedom, you're getting freedom, but we don't get to enjoy that freedom. Thomas Jefferson read this poem and said Phyllis Wheatley did not write this poem because it's impossible for Negroes to write poetry. He thought there was no way that a black woman could have written a poem. He thought we didn't understand poetry. Now imagine that. Now today, all we are is musicians and artists now, right? We had to fight for that. We had to fight to play basketball.
Right.
Originally, they thought you could never play basketball. That's impossible. Originally, they thought you could never sing. You could never play an instrument. You could never do a poem. You have it yet, Ephraim?
Well, so I'm trying to make sure.
I'll break it down for him right till you get there. She wrote this poem, during the, July 4th, about how her people were not able to celebrate freedom and to have freedom. She sent this poem to George Washington and to Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson said there's no way that a Negro wrote this poem because Negroes do not understand prose or phrases. They can't understand poetry. Thomas Jefferson said they do understand sorrow, but they cannot express it in the form of poetry. That's what Thomas Jefferson said, right? Because it's like the idea in white people, even the ones who have pity on you, they have pity on you like a disabled child. Like, of course you can govern yourself or make your own decisions, but you shouldn't be beaten the way you are. You should be free, but you obviously shouldn't be able to write a poem. That's impossible. How could you write a poem like that? Phyllis Wheatley responded to Thomas Jefferson and told him that she knew who Cicero was. She knew who the original Greek poets were, and she wrote this poem, but he couldn't believe it. That's Thomas Jefferson. So now that's during the Revolutionary War. The part about ending slavery was taken out. General Cabot.
I got a quote that he made about the system.
Yes, we go.
Okay,
Go ahead.
if he
Might even
I'm not sure if he had the whole thing,
Go ahead.
but it says Thomas Jefferson famously dismissed Phillips Wheatley's literary talent in his 1785 book, Notes on the State of Virginia. He claimed that religion indeed had produced a Phillis Wheatley, but it could not produce a pope. That's great.
He just says she's lying about making that poem. That takes sophistication, inspiration. They're not capable of that. Meaning any dignity that we had, they thought it came from church. But we were not capable of just pure inspiration. That's impossible.
They civilized saved the man, killed the savage.
That's straight out of the Christian church's assimilation. Save the man, kill the savage. Well, that's how America started, like that. They had to remove it from the Declaration of Independence, or else the southern states would have never joined. They would have stayed with Great Britain, but they removed it so the southern states joined. So then America's going on and going on and going on. Then there was a time when now there were 11 slave states and 11 free states, right? And that's how America was. And there began to be a big divide between the slave states and the free states. But then there was a concept called manifest destiny, which every white man thought it was their obligation to go west and to expand America. But the problem is, were these new states going to be free or slave? And they began to have great fights over this. They came up with something called the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise was that if you had one extra slave state, the next state had to be a free state. So then states started to join on, they began to go west, and they made one slave, one free. One slave, one free. But then this great state of Texas came up. And Texas wanted to break off from Mexico. Texas was originally part of Mexico. And they wanted to be American, but they did not want to be a free state. They wanted to be a slave state. But then that would have meant that there was an extra slave state, right? And the Mexicans wanted it to be a free state. Mexicans fought because Mexico was against slavery. Mexico did not want Texas to break off and be a slave state. And so they began to fight over Texas, right? Even Texas, you ever heard of Six Flags? That's because at one time Texas was 6 countries, 6 places, because they kept fighting over whether or not who was going to get Texas. Who would get Texas? The free states wanted it, the slave states wanted it. Texas wanted to be a slave state. They made them, and so it broke the Missouri Compromise. And then there was a political party that was fresh and brand new that popped up in Washington, D.C. called the Republican Party. And the Republican Party existed to not expand slavery. That's important. Don't think end slavery. Just think not expand slavery. That's all they wanted to do. They didn't want to end slavery, but they wanted to stop slavery from expanding to the west, to Texas and all the way to California. And Abraham Lincoln was the candidate for the Republican Party, and he won. And when he won, that was it. Go ahead.
Expanding, could that also mean like going up north into the factories as well?
No, not this part. This part,
Okay.
think go west.
Okay.
Think the
Okay. Yeah.
Oregon Trail, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Think all the way to California. That's where America was going.
Going west. Right.
It was going west, and they knew they had to do it. But then were these new states going to be free states or slave states? And that's where the conflict came, because it was breaking the compromise they made of 1-to-1. Because Texas, there was already a slave state, and then Texas would have been now an extra slave state. It would have broke the compromise.
Okay.
So it was a giant conflict. Also at this time, at the same exact time, there was a court case in the Supreme Court called Dred Scott. At the exact same time. The Dred Scott decision was, it was in Wisconsin, I believe. Someone look it up, I believe it's Wisconsin. It could be somewhere else. Where there was a brother that went with his master to Wisconsin on business. When he got to Wisconsin, he said, I'm not going back. I'm staying. Because Wisconsin was a free state. And he said, I'm staying here because Wisconsin is free. I'm not going back with you. George Washington had slaves that did the same thing, right? And George Washington was such a bastard, he did all kinds of tricks to get them to go back to Virginia. But this brother stayed. He took his case to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, you are property and you have to go back with your master. And it meant, and not only that, the Supreme Court not only said you have to go back, but the Supreme Court said, Wisconsin is wrong for not sending you back. There's supposed to be slavery in Wisconsin, which destroyed everything, which meant you couldn't have free states. You couldn't have a state that did not honor the fugitive slave law, because certain northern cities would not honor it. The Supreme Court said every state has to honor the fugitive slave laws, which means if you go to a northern city, you're still a slave there, and you got to go back. And that meant that there was no way to have a free state. Gentlemen.
That made everybody slave catchers because they had to send you back. So you couldn't stop in New York like
No way.
What's her name? Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman.
They started going to Canada after that.
Exactly. Had to go to Canada because that Dred Scott decision meant there could be no place where a slave could find refuge, because a slave catcher could just go to New York and take you out of New York. After the Dred Scott decision, there was another decision that was decided on the same day I forget this woman's name. Ephraim will know her name. A woman who was in Mississippi or Alabama. She left and went to a free state. The slave catchers came to get her and take her back. She took out a knife and she killed her children. She killed all of her children. As she was killing her last child, she said, I would rather that all my children die than that they go back to Mississippi. She went to the Supreme Court. They used the case to say slavery must be terrible because this woman would rather kill her children than to go back down south. Other people said this woman has drapetomania. Drapetomania was a mental disorder that made slaves want to be free. So there was a conflict over that. Is she simply crazy enough to want freedom? Or is it that bad down south? That went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said she has drapetomania. She has to go back down south. All that got decided, which meant what? There was no way to end slavery without war. And I'm sorry, I keep saying end slavery. I don't mean to say that. There was no way to stop the expansion of slavery without war. When Abraham Lincoln became president, the southern states broke off, I think, next month. 30 days later, they broke off and voted to break off from the Union because they knew it was no other way. Right? So they broke off, they voted, they broke off. Abraham Lincoln became president. Ephraim, can you give me Abraham Lincoln's inaugural address when he became president? If not, I'll just tell him what it is. You with me, Ephraim?
Yes, sir.
Do you have it or can I go?
I think I have it right here. You can go ahead, sir.
I'll go. Abraham Lincoln became president. He did his inaugural address, which is what every president does. In his speech, he says, I have no intention of ending slavery in slave states. I have no intention of taking away the property from slave owners. Remember, you were the property. He just didn't want more slave states. But Abraham Lincoln had no intention on ending slavery. It's in the speech. He said it in the speech. And that was his way of trying to tell the slave states, don't break off. Don't leave America. You're going to still be able to have slaves. I'm not going to end slavery. I'm just going to continue our agreement to have a one-to-one as we go out west. The slave states didn't believe him. The slave states broke off. Then finally, there was a war at Fort Sumter in South Carolina, where in South Carolina, the Confederacy attacked a federal fort in South Carolina. And that's what started the Civil War. So the Civil War was going on for about a year or two. Abraham Lincoln saying, I'm not ending slavery. I'm not going to do it. I'm not trying to end slavery. But then something happened. Let me tell you what happened. 245,000 black men joined the Union military. 245,000 of them. They joined the Union. Take me straight to Ulysses S. Grant. You want to learn about a good white man? And I think there's about a handful of good white men that ever lived. Ulysses S. Grant, as far as white men goes, was a good white man. He was a white man that had some sense of humanity, humanidad. He had some sense of being a person. Ulysses S. Grant said this: slavery would have never ended without Ulysses S. Grant writing a letter to Lincoln and saying, so many slaves have come to join the side of the Union. This is the greatest blow that we could ever do to the South, is to enlist these black men. Once Lincoln read that and saw, my God, you think about this. Now think about down south. I think a third of the men down south were slaves. A third of them. None of them could fight for the Confederacy because they were slaves. So by taking the slaves and putting a gun in their hand and killing white people from the South just didn't have any soldiers. And they didn't have anyone to fight. The South was outnumbered, I think, by 6-1 because all of their farmers were black. So when the war came, they didn't have any soldiers at all. Those soldiers went and fought up north. When 45,000 black men went up north, Ulysses S. Grant said, we should make them soldiers. We should put guns in their hands. There was a big fight where they were digging ditches. And in the middle of the fight, the South attacked and black men just picked up guns and started to kill. At the end of it, Ulysses S. Grant said, "My God, let's give them all guns. We'll hurt the South." That is what made Abraham Lincoln write the Emancipation Proclamation, because then he wanted to hurt the South by taking all of their prospective soldiers and making them fight for the North. It's because of what Ulysses S. Grant wrote to him. Without that, slavery would have just continued. Ulysses S. Grant also was the one that promised to give black men 40 acres and a mule. That comes from him. That comes from after Abraham Lincoln was killed. He promised every black man, come to fight for the North. I'll give you all 40 acres and a mule. And he gave them 40 acres and a mule. Once Abraham Lincoln was shot, and what's that vice president's, and I forget that cat's name. The vice president took over. He took the 40 acres and a mule back. He took them back from the black folk. But Ulysses S. Grant is the one that made that promise and went out to keep that promise, to give it to him. Because why? Ulysses S. Grant had something in him that would have killed the Confederacy. And listen very carefully to this. Ulysses S. Grant hated the Confederacy. He hated them. He wanted to kill them. And black people, you can't destroy something if you don't hate it. You wonder why the Confederacy is still alive. It's because you don't hate white supremacy. Supremacy still exists because you can't kill something. You can't destroy the thing. Do you hate racism? No. You don't hate racism, which is why it still exists. Because if you hate it, you could destroy it. But you don't hate it. Why don't you hate racism? Who can blow my mind with the answer? Because you don't love black people. Because you don't love Hispanics. You see, you should never teach anyone to hate. You can't teach blacks and Latinos to hate. That's not something that we can do. But you can teach us to love. And if we learn to love, amor vencerá al odio, love will conquer hate. The problem is we don't love each other enough to hate oppression. That's why you can still celebrate the 4th of July today. That's why you still set up a grill and barbecue. Why do you still do that? Because you don't love your grandmother who was a slave enough. And because if you love your grandmother enough, you would hate racism. You would hate oppression. You don't hate oppression because you don't love your grandparents enough. Ephraim, are you holding something for me?
Yes, sir.
Please.
This is from the 60s. They interviewed people who've been alive long enough to remember the existence of plantations.
To say that, oh, our Negroes are happy. They like the way things are. Other people just leave them alone. It would be the problem. And some, I think, really believe it. And I think that that's one thing, perhaps, this sort of song off balance when all of a sudden the Negroes weren't behaving the way they thought they ought to behave. It was just a doormat. And that's what good relations came in, as long as you're a doormat. They weren't good relations.
If you could paint a picture for us of what it was like on the plantation in the early days.
It was a lovely, happy time living in open spaces with really lovely colored people. And so all those years we played together and everyone was happy. We never heard of all these things that we hear about today. My father had everything thoroughbred, from pigs, horses, to dogs, and the people had to be thoroughbred. And they would get into a buggy with them and drive to the planting.
Yeah, and the people had to be thoroughbred too. They had such a wonderful time. Why is the Confederacy still alive? You know why? Because they love the Confederacy. They loved it enough to fight for it to this day. You see, we don't love each other enough. We don't love each other as much as white people loved the time when you were their slaves. They relished that time. They relish it so much that they want to make America
Bring it again.
again. They're like, man, there was a time. There was a time when the pigs were thoroughbred, the horses were thoroughbred, and the people were thoroughbred too. Everyone was happy. Let's make America great again. They loved the past. They loved the Confederacy. They wouldn't let it die. What do you love enough to kill for? You don't love enough to kill white supremacy? You love ribs on a grill, don't you? You love potato salad and flags and the fireworks, I guess, firecrackers or something like that. Firecrackers again? You love that. You see, those white people, they love the antebellum South. They love it. They think about the past, Doc, when you were a slave, and it gives them such nostalgia of better days that they're willing to fight for anything to make it live again. And it's a lot. Now, let me tell you another thing about Ulysses S. Grant. Before the Civil War, Ulysses S. Grant was born, and he had slaves. He had slaves, I think, in Illinois. And farmers would come to his house and see him out working next to his slave. And they would go, "What in the hell is your problem out here working next to your slave? Why don't you ever beat your slaves?" This is in his book. This is in his book where they would go, "You're working, plowing a field right next to a slave? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you beating your slave like you're supposed to be beating your slaves?" And he wasn't. Was he in the truth? Hell no. Was he a devil? Yes. But my God, he had some humanity. Something. Like John Brown had some type of humanity. Well, he's gone. And that's that. He tried to do something, but bad white people always win. They always win. What else are you holding out? Just start running down everything that I sent you.
So we got the story of the Fort Pillow massacre.
Here we go. This goes to more proof on why the Confederacy is still breathing. Wait, first give me the rules. Give me the liberty rules or liber rules. You know what I'm talking about, Al? Okay, let me break this down for you. During the Civil War, every war has kind of a rules of engagement, right? Rules that the enemy combatants decide this is what's acceptable in our conflict with each other. Well, in the Civil War, the northern states had rules, right? Rules of things that they could not do to the South. The northern states considered the South their brothers, right? Even today, they talk about it like brother against brother, the North against the South. The northern white people, who were the good white people, they considered the South to be their brothers, and they wanted to maintain a relationship with them. So they made certain rules. Here are the rules right now. Read the rules and then give me the Fort Pillow massacre. Go ahead.
The Lieber Code governed the wartime conduct of the Union Army by defining and describing command responsibility for war crimes and crimes against humanity. It dealt with, for example, black prisoners of war. The Lieber Code, military law, prohibited racial discrimination against black soldiers of the Union Army, specifically the Confederate Army, denying them the rights and privileges of prisoners of war.
The northern states had rules on how you treated black people. The northern states said that you are not allowed to destroy any property of a southern person unless it is absolutely necessary for the war effort. You could not go into a white man's house unless this house was helping the South to fight the war. You could not speak rudely to a white person. That's in these rules. You could not yell at them unless yelling at them was completely necessary for the war effort. Southern states were treated with such kindness from the North. They were treated like gentlemen. They were treated with kindness. Now let me show you how the South treated the North. Give me the Fort Pillow massacre. Go ahead.
Fort Pillow massacre in Tennessee on April 12th, 1864. April 12th, 1864 in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, about 3 hours from where we're sitting right here, was the Fort Pillow massacre. You go.
In which some 300 African American soldiers were killed. One of the most controversial events of the American Civil War. So most of the Union garrisons surrendered and thus should have been taken as prisoners of war.
Now remember,
Soldiers
in Tennessee was the first southern state that was conquered, and then they went back to the North. Tennessee, when they broke away from the northern states, but then they went back. Well, before they went back, the southern states attacked Tennessee at Fort Pillow. and they were outnumbered, and they had only black soldiers at Fort Pillow. They had white officers and black soldiers. They all surrendered with their hands up and said, "We give up." And the southern states killed every last one of them. They killed the white officers and they killed every black soldier at Fort Pillow. Killed them all. Keep going.
And the Confederate refusal to treat these troops as traditional prisoners of war infuriated the North and led to the Union's refusal to participate in prisoner exchanges.
The southern states could not handle a black man being a soldier. And so even though the black men surrendered, they just killed all of them, 300 of them. With their hands in the air, surrendering. They slaughtered all of them 3 hours from where we are right now. That's why the Confederacy is still alive. That's why it's still breathing. Because they didn't treat these bastards like they were ISIS, like they were Al Qaeda, like they were MS-13. They treated them with such kindness. And who wants to guess what happened at the end of the Civil War with these traitors that betrayed their country and killed the United States soldiers? They were all pardoned, every last one of them. All of them were pardoned. All of them were treated like good old boys who just made a mistake, and they were accepted right back into the Union. All of them. And what happened about a year later? They shot Abraham Lincoln in his goddamn head. That's what happened. After they accepted him back, loved him, pardoned all of them, there is no Confederate soldier or officer that got hung for treason. Not one. Not one. What did they do? Go ahead, please, brother.
But yet, more than 240 schools in the U.S. are named after a Confederate soldier.
Ephraim, 240 schools in the United States are named after Confederate soldiers. How many schools are named after Ulysses S. Grant? 2. One in Portland and one in Los Angeles. That's it. 240 schools are named after traitors, terrorists. And the majority of those schools are black schools.
Damn. Time on time. So it has a couple of implications that you're saying of how the Confederate still lives, or what have you, and how they tried to deal with it.
Mhm.
This thing that they did here, the Libra codes or what have you, which were the rules that they were supposed to engage with. But here's an interesting point about what they talk about all the time. It says during the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln temporarily suspended the Constitution privilege of the writ of habeas corpus. This suspension allowed military authorities to detain suspected Confederate sympathizers, spies, and draft resistors indefinitely without bringing them before a judge to determine the legality of their arrest, meaning that they're not actively going after the KKK now. That's why they still exist and still doing white collar crimes that are harming us, very bad.
That's the point now. They treated the Confederacy with kindness, la bondad. They treated them with kindness and mercy, and the Confederacy slaughtered every black person that they could find. And that's why they're still alive. Because there is something about white people that you don't understand, that I'm trying to get you to understand, but it's hard to understand. White people really love being the master. They love that. And we don't get how much they love it. They really love being the superior race. They love it so much that they'll just kill any of you to stay the superior race, to believe they're the superior race. They'll let a pedophile become a president.
Right.
That pedophile will make them feel like they are better than a Haitian, better than a black person, better than a Latino. They love oppression more than we love each other. What else are you holding, Ephraim?
So, like I said, a quote right on that topic from Confederate General John Bell Hood wrote,
Stop for a second. This was during the end of the Civil War when the South was just losing ridiculously. And General Hood was told to that he should quit, that he should surrender. And I think General Sherman, that was another good white man, General Sherman, who burned the piss out of Atlanta, burned everything he saw, killed everyone in Atlanta. He later was called like a war criminal because he burned Atlanta. He was trying to end the Confederacy, trying his best. Later on, they hated him and called him a war criminal. He treated the South like they were ISIS. He tried to. He was called a war criminal later. Well, he went to General Hood, who was a Confederate general, and said, "You have to quit. You have to surrender. We're going to kill all of you in Atlanta. You have to confess." This was General Hood's response. Go ahead, Al.
Better die 1,000 deaths than submit to live under you or your government and your Negro allies.
That's what he said. He did not submit. He did not surrender up. He did not. That's them. That's who is still around today. Still here today, still in charge today. Why? Because they were kind to them. They were merciful. They had rules to make sure that they were comfortable and safe, and Southern gentlemen and Southern belles, and treated them with dignity. But meanwhile, MS-13 has to get flown away to Nicaragua to sit up in a jail. ISIS, have you heard of, where's ISIS at? Have you heard of them? They're gone.
Nowhere.
You understand? Because they're terrorists. Well, why is the Ku Klux Klan still here? The same reason that Donald Trump is president. They did not destroy the Confederacy. That's why Donald Trump became president. If they didn't kill every last one of them, kill anyone who went to a meeting, kill anyone that said they loved the Klan. Give me Reconstruction, please, if I could. Give me the 5 places of Reconstruction, Chicago, right?
No, if I may, sir. What we're talking about when it comes down to like the ones that created war crimes or were pardoned for those crimes. Can we make that synonymous to how the so-called white man, when they flooded the White House and Donald Trump pardoned them and paid them all?
Yeah, I'll go give him a hand. They stormed the Capitol, beat up police officers, halfway killed them, and they all got pardoned.
Right.
Just like the Confederacy got pardoned. It's the same thing. And what are we doing here in the South? Eating pork chops and hogs? Eating bacon. Celebrate the 4th of July with flags. You see, white people, they love being your master more than you want to be theirs. That's for damn sure. They love being your master. They love it. And you don't love each other enough to fight to be their master. And it is just that simple. So many people think the Israelite School of UPK is a hate group. That's a lie. The Israelite School of UPK, we actually love each other enough to hate our oppressor. You don't hate your oppressor because you don't love him. You don't love him. You women, you know what I'm talking about. What would you have to do? Let's say someone was trying to steal your child, Nadia. Someone wants to come and kidnap your child. Now, you're a woman, a small woman. What would you do? I guess just pray for them, I guess. Wouldn't you? Yes. Right? No one would have to teach you hate with it. No one would have to say, learn to hate, Nadia. But if you love your child enough, you would absolutely hate someone trying to kill your child. You would need to learn hate. You would just have to learn how to love your child. That is the problem with the South. The problem down South is that you don't know how to love down here. You don't know how to love. And in your mind, you're thinking, people in the UPK, they're the white Ku Klux, they're the black Ku Klux Klan. I know your family tells me that about us, right? That we're the black Ku Klux Klan. That is such a thing that you would tell black people, and you would never tell white people, because if you told white people that they're the Ku Klux Klan, white people would support them. That's what they would do. White people would absolutely support them and make them president. But telling a black person that they're the black Ku Klux Klan makes black people hate you and not join. Why? Because you don't love each other the way a mother would love her child and hate someone trying to steal her child. There's a lack of love. It's not a lack of hate. You don't need to learn hate. You just need to learn how to love something. You don't love anything, and that's why the South has more gun violence than Chicago. Chicago does not have half the gun violence as Memphis. Not half of it. Not half the gun violence as Memphis. Not half the gun violence as give me another place down here that has a ton of gun violence. New Orleans. Not half the gun violence. We don't have half the HIV anywhere as you do below the Mason-Dixon line down south. All of the AIDS is down here. All of the low education is down here. Every terrible thing that is a stereotype about black people is in the South. And this is the Bible Belt. It's right here. Why? Because so many churches have taught you not to love, taught you not to care, taught you not to feel any compassion on your children or your loved ones. And that's the reason you can't hate white people. That's the reason, because you don't love black people. What else are you holding it from?
So we have the New Orleans massacre of 1866.
Go ahead.
The New Orleans massacre occurred on July 30th, 1866, when a peaceful demonstration of mostly black freedmen was set upon by a mob of white rioters, many of whom had been soldiers of the recently defeated Confederacy.
The Confederacy lost the Civil War. Let me break it down to them. The Confederacy lost the Civil War, and then something happened that was the best time ever for blacks and Latinos in America. It was called Reconstruction. I think it lasted 4 years, but it was like heaven for 4 years in the South. It was called Reconstruction. It was when they turned the South into 5 districts. Just imagine the entire South. They turned the entire South into 5 military zones. Ephraim will show you the map. And they just sent Florida. They just sent troops into the South, military troops. And because of that, during that time, you had so many black congressmen, black senators, black governors, black mayors. It was during the time of Reconstruction. Well, guess what else you had? The Ku Klux Klan putting on hoods and killing everybody at night. Killing all of them. So what happened? They went to president. Now he became president, Ulysses S. Grant. And Ulysses S. Grant wanted to send the military and to kill everyone in the Ku Klux Klan. But then his political advisor said, this term will always end progress. Hear this term. When you hear this, that's when you know it's time to go back to being poor. There's an election coming. There's an election coming. Whenever anybody says there's an election coming, you can forget progress, because that means we have to get the numbers. We have to get white people to like us. So we can't help black people, because when you help black people, white people don't like it anymore. So Ulysses S. Grant did not send the military into the South. He did not stop there was so many riots of white people killing black people. It was insane. Black people were pleading with Ulysses S. Grant to send in the army. He couldn't do it. He said, why? Because I won't be president if I do. And he was right. And he was a 2-term president because he did not send the military in to help you from getting hung from every tree that you could see. Damn. And so we had things like the New Orleans riot. Go ahead and play it whenever you're ready.
So we had the article, like, so we pull it back. The New Orleans massacre of 1866, according to the Jill's Vandal, estimated that 40 to 50 Black Americans were killed and more than 150 Black Americans wounded. Others have claimed nearly 200 were killed. In addition, 3 white convention attendees were killed, as well as 1 white protester.
Those numbers are always bad. Just call that 500. All right, just call it 500, because they always say 150 to who knows? 500. Keep going.
During much of the Civil War, New Orleans had been occupied and under martial law imposed by the Union. In 1866, Mayor John Monroe, a Democrat who ardently supported the Confederacy, was reinstated as acting mayor. Judge Howell was elected as chairman of the convention with the goal of increasing participation by voters likely to vote for removal of the black codes.
The black codes were rules to stop black people from owning property or having any power. And so, of course, these people that were voting and going to run for office were going to remove those black codes, so they got killed. They all got killed. Is there anything else from that you're holding?
Kind of the Scottsboro boys.
How'd I forget? Who's the brother from Alabama who's in the back early? Scottsboro, Alabama. You know what I'm talking about then. Give him a hand. Scottsboro, Alabama. Recently, we had tons of Carmelo Anthony. Where was that done at Carmelo Anthony? I should have known. In Texas, the Bible Belt in Texas. Well, Carmelo Anthony is a story. It's a recent story that all of you know about where there was an all-white jury that convicted a black man who was being bullied and assaulted by white men. Every person on the jury was white, and they convicted him and gave him with first-degree murder. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of an all-black jury in your damn life? Ever? Someone can Google that for me, because even the OJ, how many black people were on the OJ trust? I don't think it was 12. I think it was like 9. I don't know if I've ever heard of an all-black jury in Harlem. I've never heard of that in my life. That there is a all-black jury ever. But somehow they had an all-white jury, and of course they convicted Carmelo Anthony when he absolutely was in self-defense of defending himself. Why? Because the Confederacy is still breathing today. How do I know? The Scottsboro 8 is how I know. In Scottsboro, Alabama, there were these children that were traveling on a train, right? You know, back in those days, you had trains and kids would just jump on a train and travel from place to place, right? There was a white girl on that train. She got on the train. She was a whore having sex with everybody on the train for money, a prostitute. She went and somehow she got caught having sex with this white woman. She went and told the train conductor she was raped by 8 black men who were on the train farther down the line. Well, they went farther down the line and got these 8 black boys and arrested them for rape. They arrested them, they took them to jail, and of course these black boys never met this white girl. Never saw this white girl. They're telling everyone this. They had a giant trial. What happened on the trial? An all-white jury. An all-white jury convicted them of rape. Every last one of them. What happened after that? They appealed the case. They got another trial. At the next trial, brother, the white girl got on the stand and said, I lied. The white woman said, I lied. I never met these black boys. I shouldn't have done it. I was a prostitute. Do you know the jury still convicted them? Jesus, right. Still. With the bitch English and saying, it never happened. I never met them. They never did anything to me. The jury still convicted him. It was so egregious that another good white man had to step up. That judge threw away the conviction. Because he's sitting there and he hears the bitch say she doesn't know him. Right. The jury still convicted him. The judge said, he threw away the conviction. I let him go for it. Because it was that egregious. That's the story of the Scottsboro 8. Last week, Carmelo Anthony went through the exact same thing in the Bible Belt. The Confederacy still lives up because no one loves each other enough to hate white oppression. We don't care about each other enough. We don't love each other enough. And because we don't love each other, we can't kill white supremacy. It is evil to celebrate the 4th of July. Why is it evil to celebrate the 4th of July? Because America is a stupid and evil country. It's a country that everyone laughs at. Where did I get that from? Donald Trump. Donald Trump said that. Donald Trump is telling you why you shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July. Ephraim, show me that, please. You know, I've heard people forever say you have to love America. Donald Trump doesn't love America. Right? He hates America. Donald Trump doesn't love the military. I wish we had Alexa in here. Somebody ask this in your phones. Ask your phone, has Pete Hegseth insulted the American military? Put that in your phone. Ephraim, you give me Donald Trump saying that America is stupid and corrupt and the elections are rigged. Donald Trump hates America. Why can't I hate America? He hates it. He made it president. Why do I have to make barbecue ribs and potato salad and a flag? Well, Donald Trump can just say this is a stupid country and they're dumb and the elections are rigged. Do you have it, Ephraim?
As well, sir.
Say again?
Almost, sir.
Almost. This is why you shouldn't celebrate the 4th of July, because this is a stupid country. A terrible country. They're laughing at us. The other countries are laughing at America. How do I know that? Donald Trump said it last week. He said it last week. But you slaves feel some need to love this place. White people don't have to love this place. If Donald Trump says, I'll make America great again, what is America before he makes it great? Terrible.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm saying it's terrible. That's what I've been saying. I'm saying it's terrible. You called me the black KKK. I'm saying it's terrible. Donald Trump says it's terrible. You make him president. You make him president. America is terrible. And they're laughing at us. And it's a stupid country. And the military is stupid. And the military is woke. And the military is disgusting. They're laughing at us. And that's why I'm not celebrating the 4th of July. For that reason.
So you know he's been disappointed this week by the low turnout for the 250th celebration or what have you. So I have an idea of what may be going on or what have you. You know how Christians like to do. I got a scripture for it. Isaiah 66:17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination in their mouth shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. Meaning that they might not be gathering in public, but they surely are hiding behind a tree and get ready to fire up that grill and eat every abomination thereof.
You got that? And let me tell you, General Cabal, if I could back you up, the reason that no one is coming out to that stupid party to celebrate Donald Trump is because no one is being hung. That's the reason.
Oh, he hasn't started the
No one
game.
hanged. That's all. Because you know where everyone came to? Who wants to blow my mind with the answer? January 6th, everyone was there beating their pits out of police officers and kicking in the door. You see, no one is coming to the 250th carnival because there's no niggers being hung, no Mexicans being hung. If you wanted white people to actually show up to a celebration about America, you should have had a lynching that day. Because if there was a lynching that day, everyone would have shown. I don't have to go through 1,000 videos, do I? 1,000 pictures. Where it looks like there's a lynching, it looks like there's 3,000 people there. Children there.
That's right.
The entire state would come out for a lynching.
I don't want that.
The problem with the 250th anniversary of America, the reason no one is showing up is because there's no lynching. All right. Where we at, Ephraim? Ephraim, I think I'm off this topic. That's all I can do for you. Now let's go into the father topic about the broads. Are you ready?
Okay. I had that clip of Trump for you.
Oh, go ahead and play it.
Third world countries. Your election, we're like a third world countries. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and leave the press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS. And
we're a third world country. Why would I celebrate the 4th of July?
You know?
This is a third world country. The elections are crooked. Why is he able to hate America? Why is he able to do it? I can't say the same thing. The elections are crooked. I'm not celebrating the 4th of July. This is the third world country. I'm not celebrating the 4th of July. Everything here is crooked. And give me the other video about Donald Trump. What's the other? From Trump.
All over the world, they laughed at.
Go ahead and play it.
A year ago, our country was an embarrassment, and all over the world, they laughed at us.
That's why I'm not celebrating 4th of July. You know, man? Because a year ago, this country is an embarrassment. Everybody laughed at us. I gotta go set up a grill and celebrate and burn sparklers. No. I'm embarrassed by this country. This is an embarrassment. They're all laughing at us. Do you see what it means to be free? Do you see how you're black and you cannot say anything bad about America?
Right.
You cannot say anything bad ever about America. Do you know why? Because you're not allowed to love your people enough to say anything bad about America.
Right.
Donald Trump loves what? The Confederacy.
Mhm.
He loves it enough to disrespect the Union, disrespect the American government. They got in charge of the Pentagon. What did they do? They changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Why? Because that was a stupid name, and it was a stupid organization, and they were woke, and he had to molest it a little bit. He molest everything. He molest everything. He had to go to the Department of Defense and just finger it a little bit. It turned into the Department of War. He fingers everything he's around because he's a molester, and you made him president. Now I have to love America? No, I don't. Not according to him. Everyone understand. This is why the Confederacy is still alive, because you didn't kill it. Why didn't you kill it? Because you can't kill what you don't hate. You have to hate a thing to kill it. You have to. You don't hate white supremacy. You don't hate racism. Why? Because you don't love the victims of white supremacy. You don't love the victims of racism. And that's the reason that you brothers have grown up seeing a Confederate flag waved in your neighborhoods in 2026. That's why. Everyone understands. Oh, that's all in this. All right, now. The last part here, if you're going to get a man, you better get a father first. This is for sisters out there that are good and stupid. Sisters, don't raise your hand when I say who's stupid. A lot of people stupid. In the room and out the room. Dumb as hell. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that, let me make it as simple as I can. You know, women, you think that you are less lustful than men, but you're not. You're just lustful in a different way. A man is lustful for sex. Because a man is lustful for sex, he has sex with a woman that he should not have sex with. A woman that is a disgusting piece of garbage, but he's so lustful for the act of sex that he ruins his life, and now he's on child support, and now his life is ruined because he's lustful for sex. A woman is lustful for a relationship. Lustful for it. Has to have it. You're reading them stupid books, and you're watching them TV shows about people who found a man, who found love, who have someone to sing, make them songs and give them flowers, and to have all your girlfriends know that you got somebody. You're lustful for a relationship, and you make another stupid decision because of your lust. So how do you avoid that? Find a father before you find a husband. You have to do it because you are too stupid to find a man. You're too dumb for that. Don't do that. Don't let your lust be, I gotta find a man. I gotta find a man. I need to find a man. Man. Well, you found one. You got him. But your father would have never chose this one. This is not someone he would have chose. if he was involved, he would have said, not him. This is not the right one. You might be confused. You might not understand. You will later. You will. Now, blow my mind with this answer. Because I encounter this all the time. Now, I'm saying this, right? But you're not going to do this. You're going to still find a man, not speaking to you in the room, but everybody else. You just seem like y'all are all married. It's too late for y'all. Y'all just, but there are single women out there. Okay. Y'all just, you got to deal with what you got to deal with. But if you're single, it ain't too late for you. Okay? It's not too late. You could find a right choice, but that right choice might not be the one you want, right? But it'll be the one your father wants. That is a better choice. It's a better choice. Your choice is the lustful choice. It's the, emotional one. It's the one that's boom, 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 boom. I like him. I like him. I really like him. You're an idiot.
What's the percentage of women, that are men that are 6'4" that's on this bucket list? God dang.
I don't know where they are, but they getting all the time. Brother, I think it's him.
I said the next hour.
He was getting all the time. He was getting all the time. It's work. Yeah, they all be with you. You have to marry your underdog. The rest of you got to work out some sense in your mind. All right. Let me give you a few precepts. Ephraim, what's the precept I sent you earlier about this topic?
Yes, sir. We got a couple. We got 12, 6, and 12. 12, 6.
Hold that one for the last one. Give me Laban first. Now this is I believe, who was this Laban? Who was he? His daughter is he? He's an Israelite or something, right? Laban?
Kind
Right, he's some cat, right? It's important in the Bible, right? This cat Laban, Rebecca and what's her name? Leah, right? Well, Rebecca and Leah were these two daughters. Rachel sounds right. They end up So now Laban was their father. And so this brother Jacob, he came from far and he wanted to marry these brothers. And so when Laban saw him, he said, "Thou art flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone." He knew that thou art my near kinsman. And he made the decision first that this brother was good enough to marry his daughter. Do you have it yet, Doc?
Genesis 29 and 14.
The one.
And the one said to him, "Surely thou art my bone and my flesh." And he abode with him the space of a month.
He said what again? He did what again?
He abode with him the space of a month.
He came from far away. He met this brother. He said, "You're in my family. Surely you're my flesh and my flesh. Surely you're one of me." And he stayed with him a month. Think about this cat, 1 month intense, just watching this cat, talking to him, learning about him, seeing what type of cat he is. Anything else?
And one said unto Jacob, "Because thou art my brother, shouldst thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?"
He said, "Because you're my brother, you shouldn't serve me for nothing. What should I pay you for working for me for all this time?" Go ahead.
And the one had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Yeah, Leah was tender-eyed, but the other one was beautiful. Tender-eyed, that's another one. That's how a brother should choose a woman, but you don't know how to do. One of them had eyes for you. The other one you thought looked good. He wanted the one that he thought looked good. He didn't want the one that had tender eyes for him. That's another giant mistake that men make. Men, because of your lust, You think just get the woman that looks like the Nicki Minaj or what's that one, the whole one TV name?
Big stuff.
Cardi B or the other one, Megan Thee Stallion. Instead of seeing that one is looking at you like she is in love with you and she's just a sweet girl that loves you, that's the one. Not the one who you think looks like, your fantasy from all your deviance. This one is looking at you like you're amazing. That's the one you should choose. This cat didn't realize that. He worked for 7 years to get that old beautiful one. And he kept working. Meanwhile, the other one is the one to get him on kids, right? But now what's in this story? The father is involved. He's checking him out. He's looking at this brother. He's making sure. And this cat became the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Give me the other one now.
Okay. She's told 6.
Now, this one is very accurate to today because this is about a woman with a demon. Terrible, horrible mental disorders, which is who you are going to marry. That's what you're going to get with. You're going to get with some lunatic with schizophrenia, all the phrenias. All of them. And why are you going to be with her? Because she has a nice body. She looks good. Right? She has an Instagram page. Right? So you're going to have sex with her. And she has all the phrenias that you could possibly understand. You could send her to Zurich. And they could research her and study her for a year and become doctorates and PhDs off of your woman. That's who you're going to marry. Well, this is your life, so listen carefully about this. Go ahead.
So this is right after the angel told him to put up the liver and the gulf and the fish.
Right.
6 and 10.
Yeah, this is the brother. An angel came and gave him the medicine to give his future wife because she needed medication. So does your wife. She needs medication. Continue.
The angel said to the young man, "Brother, today we shall lodge with Raguel, who is thy cousin. He also hath only one daughter named Sarah. I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife."
Yeah, so the angel said, listen, I'm sorry, after he got the medicine, the angel said, we're going to stay with this brother. He's your cousin. I'm going to speak for you so you can marry his daughter. I'm going to go talk to him. And so much of your life is about seducing some whore on Instagram, all right? And what do? You take a picture in front of a car that's not yours. You bold from shit, man. Let me tell you, this is what I always wondered. If you could get a woman from leaning on the car that's not yours, how stupid is she? Don't you get that? Like, meaning, if you get it, like, if it works, if it's like, and if the bitch goes, hey, don't you know what that means? That means they're the biggest dummy in the world. And if she's done like that, maybe other men can fool her. All you did was lean on the car. Can't anybody else lean? You can't be the only leaner in the world. That's why I was wondering, like, don't you see if it is so easy for you to lie to her, other people can lie. Right? Anyway, this brother, he went and the angel said, listen, I'm gonna go talk to the father. I'm gonna speak to him. I'm gonna work things out with him so you can get this woman. Go ahead.
It's verse 12. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from Ravens, we will celebrate the marriage.
This woman was so sick.
I know.
I'm sorry, this woman was so sick, she had killed 7 men already. And she was about to kill herself because the women of the city were laughing at her because she was a lunatic and she had killed 7 men. And she was about to kill herself. And the Most High God sent this man to her father to save her life with medicine in his bag. Continue.
For I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses.
I know the father can't give it to anybody else because of the law. So she's yours. I'll work it out with the father. Continue.
Because the right of inheritance doth rather appertain to thee than to any other.
Now, listen, I wish I could make you understand this part, but it's going to go against all of your stupidity. The father, he's saying that this father cannot give her to another man based on the law of Moses, because this woman has to go to a near family member. Now, this father is making a decision that has nothing to do with being horny, nothing to do with who has nice Jordans, nothing to do with a car, nothing to do with who's cute, who's not cute, nothing to do with any of that. The father is saying, well, I can't give her to anyone else but him, according to the law. That is how you make a good decision. It's like that. It's not like in a woman's mind, it's so flowery, it's so like magic. You know, like who's the man I want? The one magic sends me to. You're getting divorced. You're not gonna be. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, lust is temporary. Lust is temporary. Love is a commitment to feel that feeling forever. I just think about it like that. I know you don't understand what the hell I'm talking about. I'm going to try it again, and I got to get the hell out of here. All right. The difference between lust and love, right? You feel a feeling of lust. You really like him. You really want to be with him. Oh, he's so amazing. He's so wonderful. I'm so attracted to him. Right? That's a feeling. That will end it. You're not going to feel that anymore. What does love feel like? Love feels the same, but you are committed to force yourself to feel it forever. It's like saying, I really want to be with this woman, and I will not allow myself to feel anything different forever. I'm not going to feel anything different. Of course, lust ends, right? You know, once you have sex with her, it's over, right? You're done, right? But what if you said to yourself, that feeling I felt that made me want to have sex with her, I'm going to harness it and feel it every day, forever. That's love. Because love is something you force yourself to do. Lust is something that happens natural. Lust just happens like a dog in heat. You know, a dog doesn't have to learn to like another dog. She's in heat. He smells it. He wants it. So what's the difference between you and a dog? That same way that dog wants that bitch, you have to say, I'm going to force myself to want her forever. I'm going to do what I must do to want her forever. Regardless of what I think or want, I'm going to force myself to want her for the rest of my life. That's love, because love is a obligation. It's like I'm obligated. Lust is you do what you feel. But of course that changes. You're not going to feel that, I think, after 10 minutes, you will feel that. But what if you said, I felt this feeling for her and I had sex with her because of this feeling. Now, I'm feeling this every day. I'll do it up here. I'll do it up here. Is that impossible? You never worked a job in your life? You never did that? You never had to go into a place you don't want to go to. What does your supervisor think?
You love him.
And you love him. Doesn't it? It does, right? You go in there and you're like, I can't stand this place. You got your home. When you're home, just you're gonna just say, I got this job from you know how you are at a job interview, right? You sit, you're looking like, yes, I'm ready. What the boss asks you, what are your biggest flaws? My flaw is I'm a perfectionist. And I cannot stop. I must be on time every day. I forget. I ain't doing it so long. I remember, what's your flaw? My flaw is I can't stand to be late. I ain't doing it. But I remember saying that to people like, What do you think your flaw is? Man, listen, I gotta do everything perfect. I can never be in here at 9:01. I got to be here at 8:30, 45. I'm such a perfectionist. I'm lying to get the job. Now, you want to keep that job. Lie every day. You're going to get promoted. So, marriage. That's a marriage. A marriage is you did all this bullshit together, all this talking, all this nonsense, and there was so much lust. Then you got it. And then what do you do now? Keep lying. Forever.
You had some pieces.
Keep doing it forever and ever and ever. You never stop. It's like now you're obligated to make her feel like you want her like you wanted her in the beginning. That's an obligation. Are you going to do that? No. Don't get married. Because you are listening to nothing I'm saying. And I know I should get the hell out of here a half an hour ago. Just all I got to come up and teach something. I can leave. It's not the war.
Salaki, sir, you can't call out sick from love.
Oh, that's sick. If you call out sick on that job too many times,
It's over.
you're fired. Like you know what an obligation is. You know what to do. You know if you had an obligation, you know if you want to make that rap career, you think you rap terrible at rapping, but you still think you can make a record deal. Why? Because you're committed to it. You really want to do it. So you just focus on it. Do that in a marriage. Now, a father is the one that thinks like that. He thinks like this is an obligation. He's looking for a man who can keep an obligation. That's what a father is looking for in a prospective husband for his daughter. He's not looking for who's cute or who has Jordans. He's looking at this cat for a month going, can this cat serve it up every day forever for the rest of his life? How do I know? He worked for me in my business. He worked for me for 7 years. That's what this brother did. 7 years. That's what he worked for LeBron. He's watching this cat. This cat is giving that business his all. Thriving, making that business work. What does he see? A good husband. Because he'll do that at home. He'll walk in the door every day, wipe his face off. I'm so tired of this bitch. I can't stand because he does it at work. He does the same damn thing. He walks in there, put his boots on, and gets in there to work. He's going to do it. The father is he's looking at it like, this guy's showing up every goddamn day. Oh, he can marry my daughter. He gonna show up. He gonna wipe his face off, get in there, and go to work. That penis of his, that penis is a hard-working penis. That penis put on his boots every day. And get in there and go to work. Every goddamn day. How do I know? Because he's working in here, doing my sheep business, or whatever I'm doing, he's going to do it. LeBron watched him. Then after LeBron, he married one of LeBron's daughters. LeBron said, well, yeah, you married the wrong daughter. And worked for me another 7 years. I mean, on both of them. Because this cat here knew how to have an obligation. That is marriage is an obligation that you make the woman feel like it's not an obligation. You understand? The woman doesn't know it's an obligation. She thinks you love this. She thinks that this is your joy. But she doesn't even know that this is an obligation. Who else do you do this with? Blow my mind. Children. It's the exact same thing with children. Do you think kids know how hard it is to feed them? Do you think kids understand how much rent costs? You stupid parents out there, the kid asks for McDonald's, you say, do you have McDonald's money? No.
McDonald's.
That's a bad parent. Why? Because the child is not supposed to know that we don't have money. He's not supposed to even know it at all. If you're a good parent, the child just thinks, sure, we got McDonald's. We always got McDonald's money. The child doesn't know that you go without. The child doesn't know that you go behind, that you don't eat because they're eating. The child doesn't even know it. He's ignorant to it because he has good parents. Good parents will never let their child know how much they're suffering to make that child happy. You can't do that for that bro. She'll never know. She'll just think you just love having sex with her every day, kissing her every day. She doesn't even know about it because you're a good husband. Do you understand? A father can see that type of man. He looks at it, he goes, oh yeah, he'll show up to work every day. He'll show up. What do you have, Ephraim?
That's all, sir.
That's all I got too. With that said, who said your name?
Me, sir.
What's your name, boy?
Not yet.
Kanakiad?
No, pastor.
With that, pass the class over to police officer Kanakiad.
I'm
How long you out?
I'm walking up.
Yeah,
But you don't show fucking thumb.
how about Shemel Shai? How Shemal offend by Shemel Shai?
All right.